This is KGW News at Sunrise.
As healthcare workers are trying to get a handle on the latest COVID surge, new records are being set at this stage in the pandemic. Governor Kate Brown telling us why she's bringing back the statewide mask mandate that starts Friday.
I was fully prepared to send them back to school until the Delta variant is become more relevant. I'm not willing to gamble with my children's health.
This latest COVID surge also has some parents worried about sending their kids back to the classroom. And learning online isn't a guaranteed option for families in the Portland Public School District right now. The best they can do is get on a wait list.
102 degrees yesterday, officially in Portland. That ties a record for that day. It'll be even hotter today, possibly record-breaking. So with Oregon under a state of emergency because of the heat, we'll have different options to stay cool and ways for the most vulnerable to get to those vital cooling centers.
It is a Thursday morning here on the Sunrise Show. Another hot day on the way. I'm kind of losing track of the records, but I think if we hit 100 today in Portland, Chris, that ties a record for most 100-degree days in one summer.
You were listening.
Wow.
Yes, that was. We've done that.
And
twice
I'm going
before,
home. Good night.
And no, you have a lot of work to do yet, Drew, and so do we. So let's get to the forecast. What Drew was referring to, of course, is the slew of triple-digit days that we've had already this year. Right, 3 in June, 1 yesterday. We're going to tack on at least one more today, and probably another one tomorrow. And for that reason, our excessive heat warning remains in effect for all. Well, basically all of Western Oregon, with the exception of the Oregon coast, the gorge, the Columbia Basin, etc. Again, this is for a couple more days. Temperatures could get up to 105 today in some parts of the Willamette Valley. The only caveat there would be the caveat would be the possibility of a little wildfire smoke and haze tempering that warm up. But you can see we are off and running here. It's 73 degrees this morning. It's 79 right now in the Dalles. The Dalles were 110 yesterday. 93 at lunchtime here in Portland. I've got us hazy and hot, 103. 104 is the record for today. I think we're going to be close. We'll have to wait and see how those high clouds and haze plays out. But triple-digit heat seems like a slam dunk again today, guys.
All right, Chris, the heat, of course, one of our top stories this morning. The other, the latest COVID numbers in Oregon. Right now, Oregon has more people in the hospital with COVID than at any other time since the pandemic began. That statement carries a lot of weight with it, and this graph shows that hospitalization pattern. You can see the line going almost straight up in recent weeks right there on the right side of the screen. We've seen a huge jump over the last 5 weeks, and right now 665 people are in Oregon hospitals with COVID. 172 of them, that's 172 in the ICU. Overall case numbers, they also are going up right now. The Oregon Health Authority reported another 1,900 new COVID cases just yesterday. The number of COVID deaths has also gone up in recent days, but those numbers are still relatively low when you compare them to the peak numbers we saw back in December. There were 40 COVID deaths in Oregon last week. That's up from 25 the week before. So yesterday, Oregon health officials delivered their plan to address this recent surge in cases from the Delta variant.
So starting tomorrow, Friday, masks will be required for everyone, vaccinated or not, in all indoor public places.
If you are unvaccinated, the risk of being sickened by the virus or ending up seriously ill or even dying from COVID-19 has never been greater.
It's clear the current situation requires immediate action to stop the Delta variant from spreading further.
The governor went on to say she made this state mandate as it became clearer that local leaders were not going to take action. State health leaders also urged those who have not gotten the shot to get vaccinated as soon as possible.
People who have lost loved ones to COVID may find it difficult to process their grief. So Peace Health Hospice in Vancouver has come up with a way to help, and here it is. They're putting on healing labyrinth walks in their parking lot. This is an ancient exercise, and it lets people focus on prayer, meditation, and reflection as they deal with their loss. Organizers say it's also a metaphor for working through tough times because there's one way in, there's one way out, but unlike mazes, there are no dead ends.
But yet we go into the labyrinth and we're walking, and then it turns back in on itself. So we think we're starting to get through this grief, and now we're back where we started again. And it's a journey of ebbing and flowing.
Peace Health will have 2 more of these healing labyrinth walks coming up. The first one is next Wednesday for anyone who's lost a loved one, And on August 25th, they'll host one specifically for people who have lost someone to suicide.
Well, the Delta variant has a lot of parents unsure if they want to send their kids to school for in-person learning this fall. KGW's Christine Pitawanich spoke with a parent hoping the Portland Public Schools will give parents a concrete option to stay remote.
My name is Shonda Murphy, and I'm a parent to two 8-year-old boys that attend a Southwest Portland public school. I was fully prepared to send them back to school until the Delta variant has become more relevant.
But with school starting in less than a month, Shonda Murphy is anxious, unsure if her soon-to-be third graders, Jack and Max, will get the option to attend class online. Her boys are stuck on a wait list.
Not every family will get a spot the way PPS has it set up today. And I'm not willing to gamble with my children's health.
So we asked Portland Public Schools if there are plans to make online school available to any family, especially considering kids 12 and younger still aren't able to get the vaccine. A spokesperson says currently there are openings, but grades 2 through 5 have a wait list. A statement said in part, "We are taking applications for anyone interested in the program, but giving priority to those with health-related concerns." At this point, several other districts, including Vancouver Public Schools, Beaverton, and Tigard-Tualatin, have a remote learning option for families that are interested. And right now for those districts, there are no wait lists or a cap. Murphy hopes she won't have to take her boys elsewhere for school.
My hope that PPS will step up and open up spots available for every family.
Shonda Murphy also had other concerns that she wanted me to bring to Portland Public Schools. She wondered if vaccines will be mandatory for teachers and staff working with young kids who can't get the vaccine. And she wonders, will there be weekly testing of unvaccinated students and staff? We'll have the answers to those questions and more on our KGW website. Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.
Right now, we want to take a look at some other local headlines this morning. We start with a woman who is dead after a house fire in southeast Portland. The Bybee Boulevard home had heavy smoke and flames pouring out of it when crews arrived, but firefighters were eventually able to extinguish that fire. That's when search crews found a middle-aged woman and 2 dogs, all of them unresponsive inside that house. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators are working to find the cause of this fire. We've also learned the names of the 2 people killed in a shooting in northeast Portland on Tuesday. 2 men, and they were part of a well-known rap group affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan. So Portland police shared these pictures of cousins, Odeon Turner and David Turner. They were part of the rap group Brooklyn Zoo. This shooting again happened Tuesday morning on Northeast 82nd, just north of Fremont. 4 other people were also hurt in that shooting. And one more headline here. The Lloyd Center Mall in northeast Portland is closed indefinitely after a fire that happened last week. It was an electrical fire. It started in the generator room in the basement of the mall. Lloyd Center management says it's not sure when the mall will open again. And there's also no word on what started this fire. All we know is that no one was hurt. And those are some of your Thursday morning headlines.
Well, if you have spent any time on the streets of Portland, you have likely seen someone who appears to be in a mental health crisis. When you see them, who do you call if it's not 911 and not a violent issue? Police may not be the best option. There was another line that you may not have heard of. It's called the Multnomah County Crisis Line. That number is right there on your screen, 503-988-48888. Operators are there 24/7, and they take all kinds of calls. You can talk to them if there's a family member you're concerned about, and maybe a neighbor you haven't seen in a long time, or someone you see on the street who needs help. If you call that line, they might send someone with a program called Project Respond. It's run by Cascadia Behavioral Healthcare. They're teams of master's level mental health clinicians who respond in teams of 2 to nonviolent mental health calls. They can do everything from take someone to a hospital or a shelter or point them to the nearest food bank.
What we're trying to do is look for the immediate, within the next 12 hours, can someone take care of themselves in like an adequate way, and can someone make sure somebody doesn't hurt themselves or anybody else?
So this is a really good one. You can put this in your phone as a contact number. It's 503-988-4888. We have more information on Project Respond on our website. We did a deep dive investigation into this. It's a great write-up. You can watch the whole thing on our KGW YouTube page.
Well, because of this week's hot weather, TriMet is once again offering free rides to anyone who needs to get to a cooling center but can't pay the fare. TriMet says you just let the driver know and they'll waive the fee. Also, because of the expected heat this week, TriMet is saying there may be delays and reduced speeds on the MAX line, so they're suggesting riders definitely plan a little extra time before they head out. Of course, when the weather is heating up, people get to cooling off.
Yeah, and we hit up a few of the great public spots to do that. First is Columbia Park in North Portland, where the tree shade provides some great extra relief. Another cool spot is the splash pad at the Gresham Center for the Arts Plaza, where the little ones aren't the only ones taking advantage of the waterworks.
But I try to get to like a park at least once a week, especially when it's hot. I like to get in there too, because I need to cool off.
Yeah, it feels good. So in case you're wondering, there are plenty of splash pads across the metro area and even places, well across the river in Vancouver and beyond. Check out your city's Parks and Rec website for more information. So all of this talk about heat has led us to our poll question. What is your go-to frozen treat to cool off? We posted this on our KGW Sunrise Twitter account. Is it ice cream, popsicles, maybe snow cones?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of you saying ice cream. It's the dairy for me in that on a hot day sometimes does not agree. So I voted snow cones. We don't have a lot of snow cone options here.
I never think about the dairy part. I just think about the tasty part.
Yeah, it's a little thick for me on like a 100-degree day, so I voted snow cones.
Okay.
Popsicles also a great option. Or you can text us your answer and your dietary needs and questions, 503-226-5088. We will check in on them throughout the morning. Chris, you Philly boys were telling me about water ice.
I was surprised that
which I know as Italian ice.
Okay.
But that was like the brand name in Philly.
Water ice is just incredible delicacy that just melts in your mouth. It's not like those clumpy snow cones. It's delicious, and Drew knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. In any event, yeah, water ice is great. You know what else is pretty cool? This picture, the Pacific Ocean. Check this out. This from viewer John Monroe. He sends us lots of photographs. You can follow him on Instagram at Headstand Photography. Somebody out boarding on the waves out near Lincoln City earlier this week. That is a cool shot. Thank you, John, for sharing that. Let's take it back to the Central Oregon coast. It is, it's a little misty, a little foggy in Newport. It was warm there yesterday, but Newport only gets into the 60s today. Astoria was in the upper 80s yesterday. Astoria probably only gets to about 75 this afternoon. So that will be the place to go to escape the heat. Of course, the water temperatures, though, are a whole different story. And if you're not used to going to the Oregon coast, just know that ocean water temperatures in 50 to 60 degrees can be downright shocking to your body when you step in that water. So just be aware of that. By lunchtime, we're in the mid-90s in the Willamette Valley, and Futurecast has Portland topping out at 104, Salem 102, which was, I think, what Salem hit yesterday. The Dow's at 109, the Dow's at 110. The only thing that would limit our warm-up today, and it's just a little hedge here, is that we do have a little bit of haze in the air and possibly some wildfire smoke. I want to show you Futurecast. Our model does pick up on some of the high thin cloud cover across the region. Again, all of that could be just enough to limit our extreme warm-up. But that said, I think triple-digit heat is pretty likely across the Willamette Valley and most of western Oregon today. Our excessive heat warning continues through the day on Saturday. So we've got today to get through, another hazy hot day tomorrow. We cool it down slightly on Saturday with temperatures in the mid-90s, but we're going to have to wait until Sunday before we stay out of the 90s for daytime highs. We will be right back.